When is the college soccer season? Like, when does it begin and when does it end? How come it's not on the same schedule as the Premier League? Okay, good question. So college soccer in this way is a little bit obnoxious, I'm going to be the first one to say. When you are playing college soccer, the season goes basically, and I'm going to say this is for the majority of teams, August. Some schools like Division One top level schools will go back and have captains practice in July, but most schools will start preseason, especially on the girls' side, in August. Then the season will start playing games in August. The girls' season starts a little bit earlier, so like August 5th, 6th, 10th, 11th is like girls' season is basically starting. August 20th is like games are happening, like legit, not preseason games. Or unofficial games. And then the conference play will start in September. For boys, it will be like preseason in August, and then your first games are late August or like going into September. But it does vary per team, per conference, etc. Basically, though, think about the season starting in August. Now, as the season starts in August, it goes until August, September, October are guaranteed 3 months. August, September, October. So you get guaranteed 3 months. After October, depending on the girls or the boys. Girls, what it would be like is you're starting your conference tournament, and if you win your conference tournament, you'll be playing into November for sure. Think like after Halloween. Around Halloween is like towards the end of the season. Then if you're playing what we call into December, or what we used to say in college is if it's snowing and you're still playing, that's a really good sign, because that means you made it far into your own conference tournament. The conference tournament for boys will start roughly around Halloween, going into early November, based on the conference you're in. And then if you're amazing, you will play into December. And then if you're like the best, you're going into the finals, you'll be playing through Christmas. But by the end of December, it is all over. And so the season ultimately for the majority of teams is August, September, October, say November and a half is the majority of teams. Then the elite teams will play November and December. So that's, say it's a 3 to 5 month season, which is crazy because you're going to play about 20 to 25 games, both boys and girls, in that period of time, which is crazy because you will play games twice a week to even 3 times a week with traveling and school, etc. But the bigger issue about it is obviously there's a lot of injuries, which does also encourage a lot of subs, so lots of people will play. It's not like in the Premier League where it's like the same team over and over every week because they only play once a week if you're not, playing Champions League or Europa League or whatever. Here, it's, you're playing so many games, there's going to be a lot of change in players, which is fun. The frustrating part is it's over in, November, and you've been training all year, and then you have to wait December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You have to wait another 7 months before the season starts again. So college soccer season's short. I'm sure the NCAA are thinking about, should we make it a year-long season, because soccer's better that way, which it certainly is. But for the time being, that is not changing. Now, given the fact that the season is so short, when you're picking your college soccer team, you want to make sure that you love it, because you're only going to get to play in real games that matter on ESPN Plus and etc. during those first 3 months. Then after that, it's pretty much done, which is really frustrating. And I'm going to tell you another frustrating rule. Come the winter season, you're like, well, then what happened? Like, what do you do for all that time? It varies by division because there are rules, but basically all you need to know is it's limited amount of training with the team in an official manner. So the players can host training as much as they want, but with the coach's supervision rather, you can only, like at the D1 level, you can only train, it's 4 hours a week. So you can gauge that how you will with weightlifting and soccer. And then there's a certain restriction on how much soccer you can play with your coaches, which is the dumbest rule of all time, and it drives me nuts. And when I was in college, I wrote a letter to the NCAA saying, you're ruining American soccer by doing this. I dislike you, and I actually got in trouble with my compliance officer in my own school because they were like, you're sending too many letters and it's pissing them off. And I'm like, well, this is a dumb rule, and it's making me worse at soccer, and I'm not going to have that. And there was nothing I could do. I couldn't change it. The NCAA are corrupt, and they're messed up. So then your option is, okay, so since college soccer is so lame and sucks, I'll just quit and I'll go pro. No, that doesn't make any sense either, and that's not going to happen. And to make it the best chance possible is college soccer. So is college soccer a good system? Could it be better? Absolutely. Is it still pretty gosh darn phenomenal? It absolutely is. The facilities are amazing. And remember, all of this is only possible because of the other sports. Okay, if basketball and football didn't exist, nobody gets to play college soccer. Okay, college soccer makes no money. They just lose money for pretty much every single team in the country, except for maybe a rare few. So, or they make money because you're paying full tuition to go to their school because you want to play soccer there. My school, Valpo, everybody there, 98% of the athletes were only there because they could play D1 soccer there. They didn't love to Valpo. Now, they fell in love with the school afterwards because it's a great school, but they picked the school because of athletics. So you know some of those students did not get scholarship, and they paid tuition, and that's how the school made money. But soccer itself lost money to the point where my college soccer team, Valparaiso, cut their men's soccer program. They no longer have men's soccer. So the college system is frustrating. It sucks. But it doesn't suck as much as not playing college soccer. You want to not play soccer after high school, and then you're going to live this pipe dream of you're going to try and go through semi-professional and make it pro. Are there people that do it? Absolutely. But I can just tell you, through my own experience, and I've worked with a lot of players, you're so much more likely to do it through college because almost every single professional coach played college soccer, knows the college soccer coaches, or coach college soccer. So they know how good the level is. Second, if you're going to play some no-name league team in another country far away and then come back to the United States, it's not legit. Legit soccer is the NCAA or the NAIA or JUCO. This is legit. At the pro level, they recognize, like, if you're playing there, that's legit. And I'm sure you guys have seen, if you're watching this video, like, Become Elite, right? He's the man, the myth, the legend of soccer and YouTube and TikTok and everything. He played college soccer and then went pro. And he'll be the first to tell you that that's the move for many of you, for Americans in particular. So if the question is, like, when is the season? Ultimately, the season is August, September, October, November. That's pretty much it. Then the season is over. Now, because it's so short, you want to find the right place for you. And if you don't start early, you're going to get screwed, because now that you know the season starts in August, the recruiting process needs to start early. I'm talking sophomore, freshman year in a perfect world where you begin the process. Because if you're a junior, in fact, I have a student right now. They started with me in June. Okay, I'm shooting this video at the end of June. They're a junior. They're like, Zev, we really want our son to play at Princeton, Yale, and Harvard because they have great grades. And I was honest with them from the beginning. I said, look, your son is a good soccer player. He's playing MLS next, so that's very good. And he's got a great GPA. So you're like, okay, this is right, Zev, this is possible. And I'm like, you guys started way too late. They already know their top choices. Some of those schools have already picked them for sure. The top choices are going in April, May, June, July. The top choices are done. Now, the B-rated choices, here's the problem with the B-rated choices. Those players who are B-rated in the coach's mind are also looking at their other options. So they're not ready to say yes yet. So they're pushing off the college coaches, which means the college coaches are waiting on other options to see if they're willing to say yes / waiting to see more of them. Then they have all the ID camps coming up this summer. Then this is the most difficult part. You have the fall season. Okay, in the fall season, the coaches are going to watch the recruits that they got last year and see how they do. So they don't really know what they need and what players they need until after the fall season or during the fall season, which means if you're say you're not the #1 pick, which makes you the second pick, that pretty much means you're going to have to wait until during the fall or after the fall to be made an offer, because they need to know how their season's going, and they're not 100% on you. They're undecided. So since now you know when is the college soccer process, the earlier you begin, the 1,000 more likely chance you are to get a chance. So with this particular student I'm telling you about, they're going to go to the ID camps this summer, and the parents are like, look, we don't want to keep working on this recruiting process past October. So after this summer, Zev, we'll be done, right? And I'm like, look, the reality is you will not be done. In your case, you're going to have to go to fall ID camps come the fall. Even though you're about to go to 4 to 5 of them this summer, you're going to have to go to 2 to 3 more in the fall because of how late you started, and that doesn't even guarantee anything. That just gives you a chance to maybe play college soccer, and you're going to need to consider Division III college soccer because you're starting, the coaches have no idea who you are, okay? Unless you're like the best of the best, they're not coming to you. So that means you got to go to them. So right now you're starting at 0. You're an absolute nobody. So now they're starting to get to know you. He's sent emails. He's a very good soccer player. He'll probably play Division III, Division I soccer because he's good enough. But that being good enough is irrelevant. It's about, do they see you? So I was telling the parents, you're just starting. Your son is just getting noticed right now. Like, it's just starting at this moment, them getting to know his name. They've known other people's names for a year. You think they're going to pick your kid over that kid if the level's slightly a discrepancy different? Let's say your kid kills it at the ID camp, which I hope he does. Still, the chances of him getting recruited means they're going to need to see him at a showcase still. They're going to need to see him maybe at another ID camp. They're going to need to do a pre-read. You have to do all these things. Now, if you go there and kill it, and you're just so much better than everyone else, maybe the process will be slightly expedited for you. But you can't depend on being the best one by light years. You might be good. You might be even the right fit for the team. But you have to be in the right place at the right time for you to get picked. And so when you start the recruiting process your junior year, I'm honestly like so frustrated for you because you've really, cut one of your feet off because it's so late at that time. If you start the beginning of junior year, you might have a chance. But going into your senior year, starting the process, and you want to play at a top level school, you're in a lot of trouble. It's not impossible, and I will of course help you, but you are in a lot of trouble. So with this student, what they're going to do, they're going to go to camps, and I told the parents, look, you're probably going to have to go to camps through October, November, and their focus is academics, rightfully so. My focus is academics too. I would be the first to tell them, don't play college soccer, go to a school with the highest academics. But the child wants to play college soccer, and if the parents can support that, they also want to help them do so. So now they're frustrated. They wish they started earlier. They're a little frustrated with me because I'm sending them the message, but I'm just the messenger. Okay, I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you how college coaching works and how the recruiting process works. They are going to want to see that student in the fall, and they're thinking, well, that's more camps we have to pay for. It's more travel. Do we really want this? And if you have any hesitation about any of that, stop. Just don't even pursue college soccer. Like, just go have fun in high school. Go play club soccer. You'll still have a great, wonderful experience. You won't be a college athlete, but you'll have a great time. If you're like, I do not want to live without this. This is all I want. I want to play college soccer. I will, basically not breathe. Then this is perfect. Then I can help you. You can get help. There's opportunities out there for you. But if you're like, I don't really know if I want this, I ask everybody, I go on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to try and find the right college soccer team for you? And if they say 8 or 9, I go, you're not the right person to work with me. I wish you the best. Goodbye. Or I'll ask them, what stops it from being a 10? And some people are like, well, I wouldn't kill myself, which I'm like, okay, of course, good. I don't want you at that level either. So the scale ratio is dependent on how you think about it. But if I said, okay, how badly do you want it within reasonable terms? They're not saying 9, 10, 11. Then I know that I cannot help them because my process is very effective if you put in the work. If you don't put in the work, it definitely does not work because I'm telling you what to do. You want to know every right thing to do? I know the right things to do. But if you're like, I just want to get recruited or I just want to get connected to a team, I'm not the person. Don't talk to me. If you want to know exactly what to do every step of the process, then we are the right people. In saying that, now you know when the season ends and begins, and how that affects the recruiting process. If you want more help, give me a call. Links in the bio, description, and we'll talk soon.